What's up, y'all? This girl Sage, and I'm coming, of course, to do another reading. First thing I would like to do is be grateful, and I am grateful. Let y'all know that I am grateful for the love offerings that y'all have been giving me. I was recently asked to post my Cash App, so I posted that. And Pamela, you know who you are. I'd like to let you know that I am grateful. And there are several more. Know that Miss Nicole, I'm grateful for you. Miss Conqueror, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for all of y'all, for every last one of y'all. I'm grateful for the ones that tell me, okay, Sage, turn your music down. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for every last one of y'all. And know that I keep y'all before the Most High. Alright. Now, with all that being said, we get ready to get out this mushy stuff. And we getting ready to get into the real deal. That was real too. I am grateful. Know that I am. But yet, the divine gave me the word blame game. The blame game. So, there's some pots calling the kettle black out here. There's some excuses being made out here. There's some tethering and some untethering that's being done out here. There's some offerings of some cups out here, and there's some offerings of some cups that just ain't right that's out here. I heard them cups need to be left out of sight. That's just what I heard now. But either way, the blame game is going on. When you point your finger at someone, let me do it like this. Y'all see. When you point your finger at someone, you got a thumb that's 9 times out of 10 that's headed back towards you, and 3 fingers headed back towards you. What they tell you? On you. Take a look at you before you go putting yourself and judging someone else, because you don't know what's going on with that individual. Sometimes the divine be dealing with that individual. So sometimes you need to take them judgments. You need to come up off of your head. Instead of being so quick to make a judgment, pass a judgment on someone. And y'all know people do that big time these days. Instead of doing that, the divine saying, get back in your position. Or, I'm just saying. You out here trying to offer your cup to somebody else, blaming them for what you have allowed yourself. You making judgments that don't have or hold any weight. Because you so busy judging somebody else. Just what I heard. Now I'm going to tell y'all once again. If you here for a quick fix, you might as well just get on up off of this channel, because this channel is too advanced for you. You have not ascended high enough to be on this channel. So exit stage right. But for those who here for a real fix, stick around. Stick around. Because you are not using good judgment. When you pass judgment on someone else, you opening yourself up. Let me show you what you're doing. Here's the card right here. Let me show you what you're doing. When you go out here and you pass judgment on someone else about what you think, and you can think right just like you can think wrong, about what you think is solid when it comes to that individual. It may not be. You just passed judgment on that individual. So guess what? That cup of judgment, you're going to be faced with it now. Because you chose to pass judgment on someone else instead of hanging in your position. Now, instead of judging that individual, putting your mouth, speaking a curse upon that individual, because power, life, and death truly is in the tongue. It's a vibration within itself. It's a frequency. When you go to school, they teach you spelling. So they're teaching you how to cast the what? Spell. I'm just saying. So when you pass judgment on an individual, you see this up here. You see this right here. They're making this like a mirror. In other words, it's a portal. Y'all didn't know that, did you? When you pass judgment on somebody, you're going through a portal and you are offering yourself to go through what that individual is going through. But see, they don't tell y'all that. They teach you to judge people. The society is set up for you to pass judgment on people. And the same society that makes these laws and stuff, for y'all, is the ones that break the law. But they getting away with it, but let you break that law. I'm just saying. So, when you pass judgment, when you see somebody and you don't know what that individual going through, you don't know what portal is open in that individual's life. But as soon as you pass a misjudgment on that individual, you are then offering your own self that cup of poison to have to go through. That's why Christ's consciousness said, judge ye not, that ye may be what? Judged therein. And if you don't get judged for it, then someone in your lineage gonna have to pass that test. So don't put your mouth so quickly on another individual, because you don't know what the divine may be taking them through. I'm just saying. They may be clearing up some karma from past lives. They may be clearing up some karma for their ancestors, paying them debt. I'm just saying. But do you, boo? The blame game. Like I said, when you pass that judgment, you are then, this is confirmation, you are then setting yourself up to get in that chariot And the divine is the one that's going to take you through what? That portal. The blame game. You going through a portal you never should have had nothing to do with. Why? Because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. Why? Because you have been programmed by the same. And then you find yourself in conflict, being left out in the cold, not knowing where you going or coming, because you never were meant to go down that road, but because you cast a spell, you cast a spell with your mouth. Therefore, you rendered a judgment that never should have been rendered from the get-go, because you weren't prepared. See? A judgment that never should have been rendered. But you're taught to pass those judgments. The blame game. Instead of having love, and going through the ebb and the flows, you did what? You passed a judgment. You rendered a false judgment. I'm just saying. The blame game. When is it going to stop? When people take responsibility for themselves and stop pouring that false cup of love. Stop pouring that false cup of love. In other words, stop saying that you are of the divine. Stop saying that you have love in your heart. Stop acting, Knight of Cups. Stop acting like you love when you don't even know what love is. Because that Ace of Cups is in reverse, and y'all know if it's in reverse, I will not rehearse. The blame game. Basically what the divine telling you. The divine is tired of the blame game. The divine is tired of you, and these are alarms. Y'all hear them ambulances and stuff that's going on out there? Like I said, they got this world in turmoil now. Panicking. Disarray. It's sirens going off everywhere. This is a siren that the divine is offering, so that you can withstand what is going on now. Communication is coming towards you in many areas. But know the communication that is coming toward you. Make sure that a pretty picture ain't being painted for you. Know how to distinguish between the both. Know when you are blaming and when you're not blaming. And the only way not to blame is not to pass judgment that you are not qualified to pass. Ooh, divine, you getting down tonight? Judgment can only Judgment can only be passed in love. Well, you say, I say, how can judgment be passed in love? Easy. Because love does not pass judgment. Love don't know when it's been done wrong. I guess you like, what, huh? What? Alice done lost her ever freaking mind. No, I haven't. No, I ain't. Christ, the one that y'all say Jesus, Yeshua, said, ye without sin cast the first stone. Ye without sin cast the first stone. Now there's a difference in knowing what you can accept for yourself and passing a judgment against another. You know what's for you, at least you should. And if you don't know, you need to go within. You know, 9 of Wands. You know what's for you and what's not for you. You know what your boundaries are. You know. You don't have to pass judgment on an individual to get away from them. You don't have to blame them because you chose to act a damn fool because they did something that you didn't like. Just get the hell away from them. And yeah, sometimes I know it ain't as easy as that. But if you be quiet long enough, an individual will go within them own self and own themselves. It's called keeping your mouth shut, going before the divine, so that you keeping yourself clean. Instead of falling into that trap. And not knowing whether you going or coming. You learn to bring all of you under your own subjection. In other words, you're owning yourself. You're owning what comes from the mouth. You're owning and training those spirits, those thoughts that enter your energy field. You are freeing yourself. You are freeing your mind. You are freeing the spirits that don't belong within you. When you bring every spirit, every thought under subjection. Stick around. Learn a little something. It is then that you become solid within the self. Queen of Pentacles. It's levels to this, y'all. Levels. But in order to get to those levels, stay in your lane. Hang around. Become enlightened. I'm just saying. Let me show y'all something. You got one world right here. And then you got another world right here. And on top of that, you got another world. And down here, you got a world. Like I said, it only go 20 minutes. Now I get a new camera pretty soon. That's gonna cost me about a good $500-600, if not a little bit more. I'm just saying, it is what it is. So, with all these worlds that's going on, and then there's another world down here. Do you see that there are different levels? Who's to say that one is any better than the other? The only one that can say that is you. But don't feel like you better than somebody else. Because you are never better than someone else. You just make different choices than someone else. And if you feel like you're a little better off, be grateful for that. But never ever think. Notice I said think. You can think right just like you can think wrong. Never ever think that you are better than someone else. I just heard check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because when you judging somebody else, when you thinking that you better than somebody else, you holding up your brand new starts full in reverse. Y'all know if it's in reverse, I will not rehearse. 3 of Wands in reverse. Ain't no need in looking forward to nothing else. Because you have just opened yourself up. You've just poured your cup of poison. Because you are now getting ready to go through the same judgment that you just rendered on someone else by thinking that you were better than someone else. The blame game. The rich saying that it's the poor fault, the poor saying that it's the rich fault. Everything is everybody's fault. But when did you take a look in that mirror? I forgot. Sometimes you ain't even trying to look in the mirror because you don't know who's trying to cast a spell or squat on you. Did I just say that? Yep. Seven of Pentacles in this deck, in reverse. In reverse. You thinking with your little head. You're thinking on the lower level. Instead of where it's supposed to be, up top. I'm just saying. And when it's resting, it's side by side, it's straight. But in the reverse. I just heard about the green tablets, but you know that's another teaching. It is what it is. This is on judging. King of Swords in reverse. Your judgment is no good. Your offering is no good. The divine is saying stop betraying your own self. Ten of Swords in reverse. When you pass judgment on someone else, as above, so below as above. you are then passing judgment and betraying the self. The blame game. Six of Pentacles. You see how this mind is being opened up and putting something being put in there from this machine? And you got a line of them out here. All different creeds, colors, and everything. Every different walk of life. You have been trained from a child coming up to render a judgment that you are not. That you are not. But yet you go to church where it tells you, judge ye not that ye may be judged therein. Hollering, thank you, Jesus, and everything else, and call yourself a Christian. If you was a Christian, you would be Christ-like, because the word Christian means to be Christ-like. And Christ did not pass judgment. And when he did, he had the authority. He had the right to. You don't have the right to. Judge ye not that ye may be judged therein. The blame game. You ain't gonna have no wish fulfillment if you keep playing the blame game. It's time to work together. And those that you can't work with, get away from them. But do not judge them. You just set that boundary up because that's not for you. All things are permissible, but not all things are beneficial. What may be right for this individual may not be right for you. But don't judge them because it ain't right for you. Pass the judgment on yourself, not on them. Pass the judgment on the self, on the own self, instead of on them. Don't judge without, judge within. Oh, did you catch that? Put your eggs into your own basket. Own. Instead of going outside of the self. Lay the conflicts down that you have with others. If you were to own yourself and judge the self and not judge others, then you would not have to worry about that conflict. And if people did try to bring conflicts to your doorstep, you know what you can do? Drop it like a hot potato. Because you do not have to allow that. There's that word, allow that in your domain. In your dome. You don't have to open the door for it. Justice. Thus, you are bringing your own justice. Only those whom you allow. You see her. This is her head. She's tethered into whatever, but this is her. Who she has allowed. Because she can block it off at any given point in time. You got to go within instead of looking without. You can't make this up. If you're going to judge the self. Judge within. Judge within. Two of Pentacles. Juggle the idea. Ponder on what has been spoken here. Ponder on. Are you going to keep judging someone else what you have been taught to do from a child? Or are you going to lay those ones down? And in laying them ones down, those 5 ones down, bring about change that will keep you from being conflicted within the self. Know what's for you, what's not for you. But if you out here amongst everybody judging and doing everything that everybody else doing, you're going to be part of the program. Did you catch that one too? I'm just saying. The divine said, the divine is tired of the blame game. When is the buck gonna stop? When is passing the buck gonna stop? When are you going to look at the self, within the self, and find the solution? Seven of Cups in reverse. There are no more options. If you are planning on having wish fulfillment in your own life, the buck stops here. There is no more choices. The season has come to go within. Winter is upon us. When animals like bears and stuff go dormant, they go within. Trees and stuff don't sprout. They're dormant. If you would like a change to be upon thy life and have a new life to spring forward in the spring, a new life to spring forward in the spring, stop juggling. Make the choice, stop juggling. Go within so that you can then see thine own self, own, there it is again, thine own self, and come out and bloom in a different way. Y'all know what this is, right? Ace of Swords. Everything that has been spoken here is true. It is a fact, not an act. And the divine is defending this word. Y'all, go in. Don't be nostalgic about the past. Go in. Go within. Look at everything that done transpired in your life and in your family's life. And don't judge. Just choose, make a conscious decision what you desire in your life and start working towards that. Stop looking from without and start looking from within. Then you won't have to be worried about being left out, because you will then become that Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords goes within. Queen of Swords is the only one that is capable and able to make a conscious judgment because they are Christ-like. Much love. Figure out what was just said about the Queen of Swords.